Welcome to Bella in Your Business. My name is Bella Vasta, and today's guest has been delivering training and speaking events to over 9,000 participants in 14 countries. You can see her featured at places like Harvard Business Publishing, Training Magazine, and Forbes. She's the CEO of a company called Lead Through Strengths. When she's not out spotting strengths of teams, you'll find her rescuing stray dogs, which is why you're going to be awesome for our audience, or playing drums. Gotta love that. Lisa Cummings, welcome to the show.
Bella. It's nice to be here.
Totally. Thanks for coming on. So, why don't you fill in the gaps really briefly and just tell us a little bit more about who you are so our listeners know what they're about to get into?
Yeah. So I think as far as their businesses go, the most important part is that to help people lead through their strengths so they can enjoy their work life, their family life, their businesses, and really it's like my life mission to help people get over this obsession we have with fixing weaknesses. It's like,
Yeah.
this part of me is broken or this part of my business needs to get better. And then we spend this really lopsided focus on that instead of leveraging what brings you energy and ease and enjoyment and actually gives you this huge leap in your business and your life and your relationships. So I'm all about leading through your strengths.
So, you guys, you understand why she's on now? This is going to be something that we haven't talked about yet, and I cannot wait to hear what you have to say. So, using your strengths sound a little risky when we have like glaring weaknesses, and those weaknesses actually, give us a lot of self-doubt. We're not good enough, all that stuff, right? So, with the limited time we have on our days, why should we focus on strengths in our business?
Yeah, and I do say, I think it's important to say, I don't think it's smart to totally forget your weaknesses and ignore them. Because if
Of
they're
course.
getting in the way of your performance, getting in the way of your business success, definitely address it. But let me give you an example that I think would relate to your audience business and how we're drawn to the weakness side where you could really be benefiting from the strength side.
Okay.
So let's say you do a customer survey because you want to find out more about what you need to do next in your business. So you do a customer survey and you find out that people are complaining, oh, you're a boarding facility. Okay. Your parking lot gets a little too busy near the weekends, and people are concerned that you're on a busy road and they're afraid, they'll let their fur baby go and he's going to get hit by a car, things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So you find trends like that, and then you start assessing and you think, oh gosh, they don't like my parking lot, they don't like my street, I need to go find a new location, this is going to cost me a $200,000 loan to move, and you get really spun up about this one thing, it's all what they don't like.
Yeah.
But what I find is people aren't asking what works. And so one of the premises that I talk about a lot is notice what works to get more of what works. If you have somebody working in your front desk and you love how they answer the phone and make customers feel at ease, but you hate how they do something else, be sure you obsess as much about what you love about them. That's what you're going to get more behavior around.
I
Same
love
thing
that.
goes for this customer survey. So let's say you actually ask what they love most about going there. What do you enjoy about coming here? What do your
Yeah.
boss enjoy about coming here? And you find out that they love how you do a report card at the end of every visit. And people look forward to that experience because it's so cute and you learn who their friends are. And, oh, look, Rufus and Rocky played and they did really well. And you're sharing that on social media and that's bringing you referral business. And you realize, oh my gosh, this simple little thing that's me being goofy, they love it and it's becoming a key part of why they come here and why they refer.
Yeah.
Or you find out that they're the only place you've ever visited where your dog doesn't do happy tail, and the fact that you hang blankets around every run for that one dog who has that problem has saved the person from getting the blood spatter all over their car and their house when they come home.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of things I'm talking about. It's really easy to replicate what you've already done for a success. But when someone says, this doesn't work for me, well, how many directions do you have to go from there?
Right.
30, 40, 50, you can only imagine all the ways you could solve a problem. But when they say, I like when you do this,
Mm-hmm.
then it's easy. There's no guessing. I do more of that. And we need to spend more of our time focusing on leveraging what is already working.
Lisa, that's so remarkable. And I think the part that's most remarkable is that not only are you able to actually give concrete examples to my listeners, which I know like that really helps bring it home because we could talk about things like on a global level, but then you're like, well, how do I do that in my business? You know? So thank you for that. And thank you for all those rescuing stray dogs because I'm sure a lot of these ideas come from that in your background. Another idea I just wanted to throw out there, let me know what you think of it. A lot of pet sitters actually have this online journaling system where they're done with a visit and they actually type a note and it gets sent through the system to the client. And what I'm thinking is it's so easy to take a screenshot on our phones these days. We do it when we have those text messages and it's like, oh no, you didn't, right? And sometimes you see people do that online, but what if we started trying to plant seeds or teach our clients? Feel free to screenshot this, tell the whole world. And all of a sudden that little message, it's just like taking a picture of those care notes that you were saying with those report cards, but it's digital. It's as easy as a screenshot and upload a post to Facebook, you guys. So think about it. Think about it. Yeah, so a lot of us are stretched so thin, Lisa. I mean, I've never heard anyone say, "Oh, I have so much extra time, I don't know what to do," right? So it's tough to know what like our superpowers are, and we're busy trying to be good at a little bit of everything. So we're just like the Jill of all trades and the master, what is that? The master of nothing? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So how can we zoom in and figure out like our small handfuls of strengths? Is it as simple as something we like to do, or is it listening to feedback, or like talk to us about that?
Yeah, it certainly can be the two things you mentioned. Many of us are way too caught up in the self talk of what we are messed up about.
Yeah.
So have that part, but then you also just have, we're busy. If you talk about the Jill of all trades, we're the ultimate small business owners, your audience for sure, because
Yeah.
you have to do a little bit of everything. And you feel like you're the bookkeeper one moment, and customer service the next moment, and the strategist in the next moment. How do you wear all those hats and do them well? So it's
Yeah.
finding the thread. So one concrete is if you've never bought the book StrengthsFinder 2.0, just go to Amazon or wherever you get your books, get StrengthsFinder 2.0. It gives you a code, and it's an online survey assessment tool. And I
Wow.
think it's really great for giving you a lens for how to look for your strengths because sometimes they're just not obvious, and people think about their skills and knowledge.
Uh-huh.
So these get away from skills and knowledge, and they help you find your natural talents, the way you naturally think and feel and act that feel good to you. And so, for example, one person might find the results show analytical and intellection and input, and they have these very deep thinking kind of talents, where somebody else might find includer and positivity and things that really take them into the relationship side of business. And so I
Yeah.
think they're really great for giving you a filter to think,
Hmm.
oh yeah, I am really good at that, and I could use that way of thinking or approaching things to make my business better. So that's one of the easiest. It's 5 minutes max to
Uh-huh.
take the assessment. The
Uh-huh.
book is almost like a dictionary of the definitions of these 34 potential talent themes.
Wow.
And then it has a couple of stories on the front and back end to make the point about why strengths are really helpful to you in your life and why focus on them. So that's a great one. Another is just like you mentioned, look for what brings you ease, energy, and enjoyment. If you find yourself
Yeah.
losing track of time, stop for a second and think, well, what is it about this that I love so much? How can I get more of that in my life?
Yeah.
It's obvious when you talk about it like this, but so many of us don't stop to think, is this easy to me and not easy to others? And it's
Right.
difficult to see.
It is. It's hard to get out of our own head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you leave the house and you drive away or two blocks away and you think, did I close the garage door? And you convince yourself, dang, I don't know if I closed the garage door. I better go back and look. You go back and look, and it's closed. And you think, oh, well, it's like this with your strengths because you use them so much every day. You do it so unconsciously that you don't notice that you're doing them. So it takes a
Right.
conscious effort to watch for them and kind of get in the habit of spotting them. And there's a place on my website people could use as well if you don't even want to spend $20 on StrengthsFinder. If you do leave their strengths slash more of, it's it's a page that I use in some of my training, and it's
Okay.
just a list of things that you might want more of in your day-to-day life.
Uh-huh.
And it'll give you some to what you might be attracted to. Like, I want more time being on stage in front of people, or I want more time with customer interaction, or I want more time being into spreadsheets. It's the things that you're attracted to, so it'll give people some sparks to think, oh yeah, this is what I really enjoy about my work life, so you can get more of that. So there you go. Three things. So the Strengths Finder, you could do the ease, energy, enjoyment test, and then that more of page can help too.
I love that. You're like a wealth of information right there, guys. Boom, truth bombs. And I was typing notes there so we could add it to the show notes so that if you're driving or walking a dog right now, you can come back to this and look it up. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, I'm actually going to go off script real quick. I want to know what your strengths are because you clearly know what your strengths are. And I want to dive into that for a minute. We'll be right back. And we're back with Lisa Cummings, and we are talking about focusing on your strengths today rather than your weaknesses. Lisa just gave us 3 amazing resources that are going to be in the show notes. But Lisa, before we move on, what are your strengths, girl? Because I imagine leadership and positivity might be some of them.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So in StrengthsFinder language, when you do that, they'll give you a report of the top 5. So in their language, they are strategic, maximizer, positivity. Good job. Individualization,
Uh-huh.
and woo. There's one called woo.
Woo!
Love meeting new people, and I've never met a stranger kind of thing.
Yeah.
And individualization is all about finding what makes people different and
Yeah.
unique. So just being it, that's how I relate to people.
Yeah.
Is figuring out what makes them different instead of a lot of people are like, well, what makes us the same? I want to
Mhm.
find out the opposite. Like, what
Mhm.
makes you really unique, weird, or different?
Yeah.
That just gets me really excited. So, and I'd say if I went into my own language, I would have things like maybe a little zest or curiosity, or yes, those would probably be some good ones.
Yeah.
I say over time I've discovered that put me in a good place.
I love it. And just from knowing you just for a few short minutes, I totally get it. Like I'm very drawn to you. I think it's awesome. Um, how do you think a lot of pet business owners actually have employees? So do you think this is a test that would be good to give to them or more so for the employer to know about themselves so that they can better articulate their strengths to bring out other people's strengths? Like how do you see this working in like a managerial employee relationship?
Yeah. So yes and yes. Answers there. It's definitely knowing yourself well is really important.
Yeah.
That part's going to be foundational. But I actually discovered StrengthsFinder is probably around the year 2000
Okay.
in a people manager role. So it's just what you're
Oh.
talking about. There's this book by Marcus Buckingham and Gallup Press called First Break All the Rules.
Okay.
And then there's another one called Now Discover Your Strengths.
I'm writing this down again. Now, discover your strength. Okay, now discover your strength. Okay.
Discover your strengths. And when you read those from the perspective of managing people, and then apply this by using finding out their StrengthsFinder talent.
Yeah.
Oh boy, it is, in my opinion, it's the most helpful thing I've ever learned as a
Sure.
manager. So if I give you an example, I had a woman on my team when I first took this who, um, she was fine. She was fine for the moment.
Uh
That's
huh.
she was fine.
Yeah.
She was almost like flat and level to me, and I thought, I don't know if she likes it here. She's
Yeah.
not excited about anything. Am I not tapping into what brings her alive? Does she hate her job? Like, just kind of,
Uh
okay,
huh.
life, I thought. And then always, I'm very much a future thinking person, and I want to set a vision and go, let's go. I never saw the feedback that you get from someone when they're like, yeah, that sounds great.
Right.
So I could tell I'm not reaching her. And I remember learning her number one talent was consistency. And in consistency, they value doing routine,
Mhm.
having standard operating procedures, things that I really don't like. I don't like doing the same thing. I like variety. And I need that on the team. And so I could see the things that were even annoying me on some days and
Yeah.
reframe it in a way that said, customers need to know what they're going to get from me. They need consistency. They
Mhm.
need stability. And I'm not the one who's ever going to provide it to them. And in fact, it was
Yeah.
try to provide that to them. And
Yeah.
she's perfect for that. So it allowed me to value her in a way that I wasn't even willing to see before or able to see without the
Amazing.
language. So there were a bunch of examples like that. That's the first one that came to mind. And it is so insightful as a leader. And then it's just the start of the conversation because you
Hmm.
start to ask them, what puts you at your best? Or about times when you were most excited about work, what was it about that experience or that moment or that time in your life? Or what makes you feel like you've been in an environment where you're set up to be at your best? And it is my favorite people manager tool.
Uh-huh. Oh my God. I can see light bulbs going off over people's heads and they haven't even technically watched this yet because it hasn't like published. This is invaluable, Lisa, because I think one thing that a lot of service businesses, so here's the evolution. Let me break it down for you for the dog walker and pet sitter companies, right? They usually get into it because they love the pets, right? And then you give them a little bit of time, they get completely burned out and they're like, okay, I need to hire someone. And then they hire someone and it's a horrible experience and they say, I can't hire people. I can't trust anyone. No one can do it as good as I can. And then they just, wallow and they get stuck and they have two choices. They work through it, listen to this podcast, see that they can use these kind of resources to really help them be like a ninja, or they just stay there. And so I really hope if there's a listener out there right now that is just struggling, figuring out how can I be a better leader. I kind of feel like people go to two different levels when they start managing people, at least the ones that I've seen. They either go to a pushover or a dictator. And because if they're a pushover, they don't want to make people upset at them, but they're not sure how to be assertive. If they're a dictator, it's because they don't trust anyone and they want to make sure they can control it all. And they're too polarizing. And wow, I think this test, we have personality or we have tests that we recommend when people are doing interviews, and that's to see if like they're trustworthy, if they're, going to be a good employee who follows the rules. But this one is really cool to do after, that 30-day period, and you want to figure out how to motivate your staff and you want to keep them on because nobody likes to hire. It's a pain point, right? So what if we could, that example you gave, I'm sorry, I'm kind of talking a lot here, but that example you gave was just so rich because I know so many people can identify with it. I can identify with it because I think you and I are a little similar where we're kind of excitable. And if we get someone that's flat back to us, we're like, wait, what? Does not compute, does not compute. We're like, are we? Yeah, for sure. So this test, you guys, I want you to look at the show notes. I want you to check out Lisa's website because the better leader that you can be of your business and of the people that you're leading, the better your business and your life is going to be. So I want you to really consider that. Lisa, thanks for bringing that up, girl. That was amazing. So, and besides making a person feel more energetic at work, how can it help them with their business goals? So we got the people and we got us feeling good. How does that relate to our business goals? Because I'm sure no one really set out saying, I want to have a business. It's really going to be a nonprofit. I'm going to be a slave to it and I'm never going to go on vacation. Right?
There are a lot of ways, and I could probably talk to you for 3 hours about this, but just to give you one,
Okay.
where I think it's a great filter for solving business problems and thinking about how you'll approach your strategy. So I think about, you look at a marketing funnel and it's a typical funnel with the big, you catch a bunch of people at the beginning and you
Mm-hmm.
get your customers out of the box. Flip it upside down
Uh-huh.
and imagine upside down funnel where you drop in your business challenge
Uh-huh.
and you filter it through your top talent, the
Mm-hmm.
way that you want to brand yourself, the things you want to be remembered for as a company, your strengths, finder talents. I use my
Yeah.
5 talents as a filter constantly, and I think, okay, here's this issue. What if I solved it thinking this way? What if I
Yeah.
solved it thinking this way? What if I solved it thinking this way? And it will expand the way that you approach problem solving in a way that your brain normally doesn't go. I've used
That's
it in
incredible.
so I'll give you a dog example, a personal one. So we have this little rescue operation that is accidental at our house. We live a mile off of a paved road, and yet these dogs live on our patio. It's like the vacant side. They just, always flashing. They're somewhere. I don't know how it's going, but it's always been
Oh.
So one of the guys that came to our patio, Frank, he got named after the crusty old man from Men in Black. He was just, to not take up the whole show with the Frank story, but
No, it's okay. We love this.
like any dog I've ever met after, being involved with rescue groups and
Hmm.
speaking on them extensively, I just kind of miffed and baffled and thought,
Yeah.
he's entirely unadoptable, don't know what to do with them, don't know how to help them become adaptable. And I literally did this thing. I dropped this problem in the top of my funnel and I was like, how could I use my dog to help with something? And individualization just popped out to me and said, he is different and he needs a different solution and you can't keep using the same tricks you've been using
Yeah.
for every other dog that's come through our house.
Yeah.
And we started approaching things totally differently, and it helped me reframe the situation, who he is to us, who we are to him, how we go about getting him in a place that he could be functional in this world.
Yeah.
And so that's one where I was obsessed with my normal patterns of thinking until I focused that way. And you could also just take an example where this happens a lot, I think, in businesses of our size, where you have a handful of people and you have you, and then maybe you have this right hand person who's really important to you,
Yeah.
a couple of other people you've hired, and you use these talents to filter who does what job responsibility. So I look at, there's a company that I use for our dog training, and they have done this so beautifully. So Paul, he is, I'm just going to hypothesize if I guess what his strengths, minor talents are. I would say he has woo, and he has significance, he has positivity, and he's just the out there charismatic guy for the business. So he's doing sales, he's doing the demos to show what it looks like when 20 people come in to see what can your relationship look like with your pet when you're actually working together, when the dog is both obedient and having tricks. Well, his partner Tracy, she is, if I were to hypothesize about her, she's analytical, she's intellectual, she's deliberative, she's on the side. And they've carved out the roles where while you're watching Paul, she's watching you. She's watching you with your baby.
Yeah.
Thinking, oh, what's the human neuroses that's going on right now? It's creating this. Can you stop comforting Paul? And so she's watching you to see how you're contributing to the situation as well. And they have just put this together so magically where the lines are very clear. He's the out front guy. He's the relationship guy.
Yeah.
He's the make you feel great about it guy. She's the one who's all into the research and the psychology of it, but she comes at it in a totally different direction. And they've divided it that way, and it works so beautifully. But imagine if they were just trying to be the Jill of all trades and the Jack of all trades.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then they would be a mess.
Yeah.
He wouldn't like doing the analysis. And she wouldn't make me feel at ease as a customer. She would treat me with the brightness that he did. So that's another way. Is once you mentioned doing it 30 days in, using it in somebody's onboarding process, and then starting. We're small enough businesses that you can craft the roles in the business based on what people bring to bear. So it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thanks. And you can start to say, oh gosh, well, I'm going to let that person take this off my plate. They're amazing at it. And I'm going to take this thing. I thought I hired this person to do this thing, but I'm the best one in the company at it. I'm going to keep that. And I'm going to give this to her.
Yeah.
And start dividing out roles that way, which is really great.
That's so good. As you're saying that, I'm thinking this would be good for husband and wives too. I love that. And Lisa, I'm not just saying this, I have to say it again. Like, you are such a blessing to this podcast today because this is such great information. What tangible steps can we take to figure out these natural talents? I mean, I think that people say, oh yeah, I'm good at this, but to get outside of our head, take this test, also see who's working for us and how. Maybe you need an office manager. Maybe there's someone on your team that you could pull in that would be a really great office manager. My brain's exploding right here. I'm really not staying on track. I apologize, but tell us some tangible steps that we can take to figure out our natural talents.
I love that it's exploding.
It is. Like, I want to just have you on an hour-long interview on, like, Facebook Live or YouTube right now, and the heck with the podcast. Like, you are an interesting person. I hope everyone goes and checks out our website and follows her everywhere. But before we get to all of that, That's the final question for you.
So, besides the things that we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
I say one you can do if you want to start really big picture. You have this idea probably of your company brand and what you want this company to be known for. That gets very blendy in the types of businesses that your audience has. So you can make this one exercise or two, depending on what you prefer. How do you want your company to be viewed and remembered? And then how do you want to be remembered? I'm talking about 20 years from now, when you're looking back on what would you be proud to be known for?
Yeah.
What are those things? What are those words and phrases? And come up with as many as you can.
Yeah.
Just kind of that thumbprint on the world. What's important to you? Because then you can think about what strengths will support that. And one great way to do that is to also think about what you value most. You're literally like a values exercise, but instead
Yeah.
of the kind that everyone hates where they have to narrow down to the top three that they care about,
Mm-hmm.
um, here's another one on the website where it's leadthroughstrengths.com/values. You
Okay.
have an inventory of all sorts of words that represent values. And then you can just look at them and say, when it comes to this business problem or this business challenge, here are some things that really matter to me. Here's how I would want to be remembered for how I solve that problem. And then it kind of puts your values in action and shows what you would care about most. And you get to pick as many as you want. So that's one way you can go about it. So that's the big picture. And then I would also find that perspective from other people. So go out and ask customers. Just
Sure.
do it in an informal interaction. If you're a dog walker and you walk in someone's store and you're about to walk out and you say, "Hey, just curious, when you think of me, what word comes to mind?" But just have someone come up with that 1 to 3 words that they think of when they think of you, and it will tell you the ones that emerge most strongly and the ones that are coming across most strongly. I like to do 3 words, but if you
Yeah.
feel weird about it, just experiment between them.
Inadvertently, it kind of makes clients know that you also care what they think. You know, I mean, you could be doing it when you get off the phone. They want to change a booking or something, and like, and throw that out there. And I think the quirkiness of it will make them actually tell you, and they'll be like, "That's kind of cool that she actually valued my opinion enough to ask me," So it kind of works like two ways.
Yeah, and it's exactly that concept when I said notice what works to get more of what works.
Yeah.
If your customers tell you, "I love how much you love our pets. I just love the love." Okay, great. Well, you know that's what you're known for. The next person, it might be, "I love that every week you publish a scientific article about how dog training relates to my real life." Well, great. Those are two very different people, and they'll tell you how to market your business so you attract the kind of customers who love who you are
Yeah.
without you having to put on any fronts or airs or act like someone else.
Mm-hmm.
When they repeat these few words back to you, you see how they know you just because you've been being you, and then that tells you what to lean into in your messaging and the way that you approach the world. So, and then a very last one, I like to challenge people to list, do your challenge, whichever way you'd like to do it, 50 or 100. I like to challenge people to 100. Fill in this sentence. I'm good at. That's it. And you might be reaching a little bit where you're like, I'm good at tying shoes. But really challenge yourself to get as many as you can because you start to see, oh gosh, I'm good at a lot of some things, but you can start to group them into trends and see, do they relate to how you execute in the business? Does it relate
Yeah.
to how you relate to your customers? Is it more about how you think? Is it certain skills or knowledge? And you'll see the trends that tell you, here, go spend more of your time here.
Lisa Cummings, you have been such a blessing and inspiration to myself. So I know that it is just going to ripple through like a rock being thrown into like a pond right now. Tell everyone how they can find you and reach you and connect with you and follow you.
Yeah, so leadthroughstrengths.com is our hub, and on Twitter is probably a great one if people want some of the tips after they've taken StrengthsFinder. We put out more depth on each of those talents, so they can
Okay.
do. I'm at Lisa Cummings on Twitter, so then you can
Okay.
find Master Monday on StrengthsFinder and Theme Thursday on StrengthsFinder, and we put out a lot of extra stuff so people can really dive into them and explore the nuance over time.
Super cool. Because the one thing that has been a theme in my life since January, really hard, is we got to believe in ourselves so other people believe in us. And by doing that, we have to know who we are. So, Lisa, this has been just amazing. You guys, I know that you've been on fire listening to this. So please go ahead and share this podcast on your Facebook pages, on your Twitter pages. And don't forget to like and subscribe to us on iTunes and Stitcher. This has been another episode of Bella in Your Business. Always keep jumping.